Customer service is all about engaging with customers. As a customer service representative, you rarely interact with satisfied, excited customers enjoying their new product or service. Instead, you typically encounter them when things go wrong, whether it's a malfunction, a billing issue, or something not meeting their expectations. Your job is to turn things around and bring back their satisfaction. In this course, you'll discover effective strategies to build your confidence, engage with customers in a productive manner, and handle issues with adaptability and efficiency, all aimed at resolving problems and making customers happy once more. In a typical customer service interaction, a customer reaches out because of a problem that has caused frustration or confusion. For example, a customer might receive a bill for something they've already paid and become upset, feeling wronged and ready to escalate the issue. In this situation, the customer may begin the conversation feeling angry and defensive, potentially viewing the customer service representative, or CSR, as part of the problem. The CSR, on the other hand, approaches the situation calmly, understanding that these interactions are a normal part of the job. The CSR's goal is to resolve the issue professionally and with as little conflict as possible. When faced with the customer's complaint about the bill, the CSR responds with an apology and an expression of understanding. This empathetic approach helps to de-escalate the situation, as the CSR explains that a mix-up occurred because the bill was sent before the payment was received. Upon realizing that the issue is resolved and their balance is zero, the customer's frustration quickly fades and the situation is peacefully resolved. Customers typically enter these interactions with negative emotions, while CSRs, with no emotional investment other than solving the issue, approach it calmly. This difference in perspective creates potential for conflict. However, it's the CSR's responsibility to transform the interaction from a potentially hostile encounter into a positive experience. This requires the use of 3 key qualities: confidence, flexibility, and efficiency. Confidence plays a crucial role in building trust with customers. When a CSR lacks confidence, it erodes the customer's faith in the representative, the product, and even the company itself. For instance, if a customer shows up for an in-store pickup and their order isn't showing in the system, it can quickly cause confusion and frustration. A CSR who appears uncertain or defensive, giving vague or incomplete explanations, only adds to the customer's dissatisfaction. However, a confident representative will acknowledge the issue and take action to resolve it, reassuring the customer by showing competence and a willingness to find a solution. In another example, a customer receives a notification that their order is ready for pickup, only to be told that the store's system doesn't show the order. A CSR lacking confidence may respond poorly, making excuses or failing to offer immediate solutions, further frustrating the customer. However, a confident CSR would respond differently by assuring the customer that they will personally investigate the issue. If the order isn't showing up in the system but the product is in stock, the CSR takes the initiative to retrieve the item themselves. By taking ownership of the problem, the representative turns a negative experience into a positive one, leaving the customer impressed by their speed and initiative. Confidence in customer service is not a constant trait. It fluctuates based on the situation, the type of customer, and the representative's knowledge or experience in dealing with specific issues. For example, a customer service representative may feel very confident in handling billing inquiries, but may struggle with technical problems related to products. Even when a CSR is comfortable with a topic, taking too long to search for information or fumbling over words can give customers the impression that the representative is unsure or incompetent. However, there are ways to develop and display confidence when interacting with customers. Even in areas where the representative may feel less skilled, a customer interaction highlights this concept. The customer asks the CSR for a part number, which is given as C-55A. The CSR, unsure of what the part is for, hesitates and asks for clarification. The customer, growing frustrated, explains that it's an interlocking joint that holds 2 halves of a case together. The CSR, still struggling, tries to joke about their knowledge of billing issues, but the customer isn't amused and questions their competence. This situation illustrates how easily confidence can be shaken when a CSR isn't fully prepared for the topic at hand. Customers expect quick, knowledgeable answers, and any sign of hesitation can erode trust. To prevent this, it's crucial for CSRs to practice and prepare themselves before engaging with customers. This preparation can involve practicing responses aloud, reviewing past interactions, and asking critical questions such as, do I sound confident and assured? Building knowledge, particularly in areas where one feels weak, is equally important for projecting confidence. In another replay of the interaction, we see the same customer service scenario handled more effectively. This time, the CSR receives the part number C-55A and confidently confirms that it's an interlocking joint, explaining that it holds the two halves of the case together. They quickly locate the installation instructions and offer to send a copy to the customer. As the conversation proceeds, the CSR goes a step further by pointing out where specific details about the joint can be found, which reassures the customer. Confidence building doesn't stop with knowledge. During the customer interaction, the CSR should always greet the customer professionally and adjust their approach depending on the situation. Assertiveness should be appropriate to the conversation, and honesty is key when dealing with issues that the representative cannot resolve on their own. For example, if the CSR needs additional assistance or has to put the customer on hold, they should ask for permission and explain what they are doing and how long it will take. Maintaining positivity and using affirming language also strengthens both the CSR's and the customer's confidence that the problem can be resolved. Speaking slowly, clearly, and calmly is another strategy that helps convey self-assurance. Talking too fast can make a CSR seem anxious or rushed, confusing the customer. Even though most interactions happen over the phone or chat, smiling and using facial expressions while speaking can subconsciously communicate confidence. Good posture is important too. Even if the customer can't see the CSR, it can influence the way the CSR speaks and presents themselves. Furthermore, it's essential to avoid over-explaining or oversimplifying. Giving too much or too little information can frustrate the customer, so it's important to strike a balance. For instance, in the replay of the interaction, the CSR not only provides the installation instructions, but also offers additional support, mentioning that service personnel can help install the part if needed. Flexibility is another important factor that impacts how customers perceive CSRs. Customers often expect a rigid, scripted response, anticipating that service interactions will be difficult. However, a flexible approach where the CSR is willing to go off script can exceed the customer's expectations. For example, even if an order isn't correctly processed in the system, a flexible CSR will find a workaround by manually checking the stock and personally retrieving the item, rather than simply telling the customer they can't help. This kind of special consideration builds customer loyalty, as it demonstrates that the CSR is willing to go the extra mile to resolve the issue. Efficiency is the third critical quality that shapes a customer's perception of the interaction. Customers value their time and expect prompt solutions with minimal effort on their part. A CSR who can quickly and competently resolve the issue without making the customer wait unnecessarily or go through multiple steps builds satisfaction. Efficiency not only benefits the customer, but is also an important metric for CSRs and companies. Meeting or exceeding expectations in terms of time and effort reinforces the customer's positive perception of the company. Ultimately, customer satisfaction in service interactions hinges on the CSR's ability to project confidence, show flexibility, and provide efficient solutions. These qualities help shift the customer's perception from seeing the CSR as an obstacle to viewing them as an ally, creating a more positive and successful experience for both parties. In customer service, companies establish rules, policies, and procedures to ensure efficient operations and consistency in customer interactions. These guidelines help maintain structure, but sometimes exceptional situations require customer service representatives to show flexibility. While it's important to know and follow the company's policies, there are moments when stepping outside the standard rules can create positive experiences for customers without harming the business. The key is to understand when and how to be flexible and to recognize which policies are unchangeable. For example, a customer at a retail store attempts to return an item without a receipt. The retail employee informs the customer that according to store policy, a refund can only be issued with proof of purchase. This is a common situation where a rigid policy is in place to ensure proper documentation, yet the customer is still hoping for a resolution. In this case, the customer insists they don't need the product and simply want their money back, though it's clear the item is unused and still in its original packaging. The employee faces a challenge, balancing the need to follow the store's rules while trying to accommodate the customer's request. Flexibility comes into play here, as the representative could consider other ways to resolve the issue, like offering store credit. However, the employee starts by explaining the policy, maintaining that a refund is not possible without a receipt. When the customer presses for another solution, the employee acknowledges that the store doesn't carry this particular model, which raises doubts about whether the purchase was made at that location. Despite the customer's uncertainty about where they bought the product, the representative checks the company's inventory system and finds that the item is stocked at other locations. The employee then presents an alternative, offering store credit instead of a refund. This shows a willingness to work with the customer within the boundaries of store policy. While the customer still expresses disappointment over not receiving a refund, they reluctantly agree to the store credit. The customer asks whether the representative needs to consult with a supervisor, but the employee confidently states that store credit is something they can handle independently. This swift action reassures the customer, who agrees to proceed with the solution. In this situation, flexibility is demonstrated in several ways. First, the representative acknowledges the customer's frustration and looks for a way to help, even though a full refund isn't possible. By offering store credit, the employee finds a middle ground that respects both the customer's needs and the store's policy. This flexibility is further enhanced by the employee's ability to handle the situation without needing approval from a higher authority, which boosts the perception of efficiency and customer care. Being prepared to offer alternative solutions, like store credit or adjustments to fees and pricing, allows a representative to appear adaptable and resourceful. Anticipating the customer's needs before they even ask shows that the representative is proactive and concerned with their satisfaction. For instance, offering store credit immediately when a refund isn't possible demonstrates foresight, and it conveys to the customer that the representative is looking out for their best interests. Flexibility in customer service isn't always about bending the rules. Sometimes it's about finding creative solutions within the framework of existing policies. By communicating clearly and offering alternatives, representatives can build trust and loyalty with customers. Even when strict rules can't be altered, showing an effort to accommodate the customer's needs, like in this case with store credit, leaves a positive impression and helps meet or exceed their expectations. This adaptability is a key component of successful customer service and fosters a sense of trust and loyalty that benefits both the company and the customer. In conclusion, projecting confidence, whether in face-to-face interactions or over the phone, is key to successful customer service. Careful attention to how the CSR presents themselves through tone of voice, choice of words, and demeanor can positively impact both the customers and the CSR's perception of the interaction. Confidence can be built through preparation, knowledge, and self-awareness, ultimately resulting in more satisfying customer experiences. For example, a customer at a retail store attempts to return an item without a receipt. The retail employee informs the customer that, according to store policy, a refund can only be issued with proof of purchase. This is a common situation where a rigid policy is in place to ensure proper documentation, yet the customer is still hoping for a resolution. In this case, the customer insists they don't need the product and simply want their money back, though it's clear the item is unused and still in its original packaging. The employee faces a challenge, balancing the need to follow the store's rules while trying to accommodate the customer's request. A flexibility comes into play here, as the representative could consider other ways to resolve the issue, like offering store credit. However, the employee starts by explaining the policy, maintaining that a refund is not possible without a receipt. When the customer presses for another solution, the employee acknowledges that the store doesn't carry this particular model, which raises doubts about whether the purchase was made at that location. Despite the customer's uncertainty about where they bought the product, the representative checks the company's inventory system and finds that the item is stocked at other locations. The employee then presents an alternative, offering store credit instead of a refund. This shows a willingness to work with the customer within the boundaries of store policy. While the customer still expresses disappointment over not receiving a refund, they reluctantly agree to the store credit. The customer asks whether the representative needs to consult with a supervisor, but the employee confidently states that store credit is something they can handle independently. This swift action reassures the customer, who agrees to proceed with the solution. In this situation, flexibility is demonstrated in several ways. First, the representative acknowledges the customer's frustration and looks for a way to help, even though a full refund isn't possible. By offering store credit, the employee finds a middle ground that respects both the customer's needs and the store's policy. This flexibility is further enhanced by the employee's ability to handle the situation without needing approval from a higher authority, which boosts the perception of efficiency and customer care. Being prepared to offer alternative solutions, like store credit or adjustments to fees and pricing, allows a representative to appear adaptable and resourceful. Anticipating the customer's needs before they even ask shows that the representative is proactive and concerned with their satisfaction. For instance, offering store credit immediately when a refund isn't possible demonstrates foresight, and it conveys to the customer that the representative is looking out for their best interests. Flexibility in customer service isn't always about bending the rules. Sometimes it's about finding creative solutions within the framework of existing policies. By communicating clearly and offering alternatives, representatives can build trust and loyalty with customers. Even when strict rules can't be altered, showing an effort to accommodate the customer's needs, like in this case with store credit, leaves a positive impression and helps meet or exceed their expectations. This adaptability is a key component of successful customer service and fosters a sense of trust and loyalty that benefits both the company and the customer. In customer service, situations often arise where representatives must navigate company policies while addressing customer concerns. A typical scenario might involve a customer attempting to return a product without a receipt. In this instance, the customer is firm in their request for a refund, stating that they no longer need the item and that it remains unused and in its original packaging. However, the employee knows that the store's policy requires a receipt to issue refunds and begins by explaining this to the customer. Despite the initial disappointment and frustration expressed by the customer, the employee remains calm and focused on finding an alternative solution. Rather than strictly adhering to the refund policy, the representative demonstrates flexibility by exploring other options. The employee checks the company's inventory system and discovers that, although the product isn't carried at this specific store, it is available at other locations within the company's network. Based on this information, the representative proposes a compromise, offering store credit instead of a refund. This solution aligns with store policy while still providing the customer with a resolution that addresses their needs. The customer is not entirely satisfied, still hoping for a refund, but they recognize that store credit is a reasonable alternative. They inquire whether the employee needs to seek approval from a manager to process the credit. The representative, demonstrating confidence and authority, assures the customer that they have the ability to handle the situation independently without involving a supervisor. This efficient response further reassures the customer, and they agree to proceed with the offer of store credit. This scenario illustrates how flexibility in customer service can be achieved without completely bending the rules. By offering store credit, the employee finds a middle ground that balances both the customer's expectations and the company's policies. Moreover, the representative's willingness to explore options and provide a solution without needing to escalate the issue showcases an efficient and customer-focused approach. This adaptability not only satisfies the customer in the moment, but also builds trust and goodwill, enhancing the overall customer experience. In conclusion, flexibility in customer service is about finding creative solutions within the limits of company policies. Offering alternatives like store credit or adjustments to fees demonstrates a proactive approach and shows customers that the representative is committed to resolving their issues. By anticipating customer needs and providing options before being asked, service professionals can exceed expectations and foster loyalty, even in situations where strict rules cannot be changed. This balance of flexibility, efficiency, and customer care is crucial in creating positive interactions that benefit both the customer and the company. In customer service, not every representative is naturally outgoing or optimistic. Some may struggle with staying upbeat or confident throughout the day, particularly if they are quiet, low-key, or introverted. However, there are techniques that can help CSRs or customer service representatives engage fully with customers, even if it doesn't come naturally. One effective method is the use of an acting technique, where CSRs adopt a persona or character to embody the qualities they want to express during interactions. This technique helps boost confidence, flexibility, and efficiency, enabling them to provide the best service possible. The acting technique involves 3 key steps. The first step is choosing a character or role model to emulate. This character can be anyone, a famous personality, a fictional character, or even someone in their personal life who possesses the traits they wish to develop. For example, someone may choose Sherlock Holmes for his logical thinking and problem-solving abilities, or their mother for her toughness, intelligence, and composure. The idea is to select someone who embodies confidence, competence, and approachability, qualities that are essential for customer service. Once the character is chosen, the second step is to adopt their mindset. The CSR should imagine how this character would handle customer service situations. How would they think, react, and engage with others? By visualizing how this role model would act during a call or interaction, the representative can begin practicing those behaviors themselves. They can mimic the character's confidence, humor, or empathy. To reinforce this mindset, some CSRs even pin up a picture of their role model in their workspace as a constant reminder of how to behave during interactions. The third and final step is to channel the character when interacting with customers. When answering calls or assisting customers, the CSR fully embodies their chosen persona. They think about how the character would sit, their facial expressions, and how they would greet customers. They might imagine how their role model would convey professionalism, confidence, and warmth, ensuring that the customer feels valued and understood. From the start of the conversation, they act as their character would, whether it's by smiling, speaking calmly, or using a tone of voice that reassures the customer. In challenging situations, they reflect on how their role model would remain composed, logical, and solution-focused. This approach helps the CSR guide the conversation smoothly, with the end goal of resolving the customer's issue and leaving them satisfied. For instance, in one scenario, a customer calls in with a technical issue, frustrated that their laptop isn't pulling up the documents they need for an important meeting. The CSR, channeling a composed and logical character, greets the customer warmly and confidently. They acknowledge the issue calmly and ask practical questions, like what operating system the customer is using, to move toward a resolution. The CSR's ability to remain steady, even if they don't feel fully confident themselves, reassures the customer that they are in good hands. Just as actors make their characters their own, CSRs can develop their own approach using this technique. Over time, this acting method helps them build real skills, confidence, and flexibility. It allows them to provide excellent service while gradually developing the traits they admire in their role models. The acting technique is a valuable tool for any customer service representative who needs a little extra help in maintaining high levels of confidence, flexibility, and efficiency during their day-to-day interactions. In this course, you've learned that customer support representatives face the constant challenge of resolving issues quickly while maintaining customer satisfaction. To build trust and successfully address customer problems, it's crucial to be perceived as confident, flexible, and efficient. Engaging customers with confidence involves preparation and actively presenting yourself in a self-assured way during interactions. Flexibility requires a deep understanding of company policies, knowing when to adhere to them, and when there's room to make exceptions to exceed customer expectations. Efficiency is achieved through thorough knowledge of your company's products and services, along with mastering the tools and resources available to resolve customer issues swiftly and effectively. Additionally, you've explored the acting technique, which helps enhance self-confidence, flexibility, and efficiency. By adopting a role model or persona, you can project the qualities needed to engage customers successfully while continuing to develop these skills over time.